There is a moment in life when something captures your attention without asking permission. You don't plan it. You don't analyze it. You simply feel drawn. Alan Watts often reminded us that the deepest truths are not reached through effort, but through awareness. They arrive quietly, before the mind has time to interfere, and this moment, right now, is one of those moments. This is not a test that begins with thinking. It begins with noticing. Across cultures and centuries, the owl has appeared whenever human beings stood at the edge between what they understand and what they feel but cannot explain. The owl is not an animal of noise or display. It does not chase attention. It waits. It watches. It sees what moves in the dark, both outside us and within us. As you look at these owls, something subtle is already happening. Your mind may try to analyze colors, shapes, meanings, but your deeper awareness has already leaned toward one of them. That pull is not random. According to Alan Watts, intuition is intelligence operating before language steps in. This is not a test of intelligence. It is not a personality label. It is a mirror. To take this test honestly, let go of logic. Do not ask which owl looks better or wiser. Notice instead which one feels familiar, unsettling, or strangely comforting. Often, what draws us is not what we want, but what we are ready to face. Before we continue, take a breath. Let your eyes rest on the 4 owls and choose the one that calls to you first. No second guesses. The first pull is the honest one. When you've chosen, comment this phrase below: I trust my first awareness. Now the real journey begins. Because the owl you selected is not describing who you are, it is revealing how you are relating to your emotions, your choices, and who you are quietly becoming. Alan Watts once said that life is not a journey toward a destination, but a dance unfolding moment by moment. Each owl represents a different way of dancing with reality, a different inner state shaping your present phase of life. The first owl we explore reflects a state many people seek, yet few truly understand: inner balance. If this owl drew you in, there is something important about how you move through the world. This owl does not demand attention. It does not intimidate or overwhelm. Its presence is steady, grounded, calm. People who choose it are often seen as mature, centered, or easy to be around. But what few notice is the inner work behind that calm. You have learned, consciously or not, how to regulate your emotions. When chaos appears, you slow down instead of reacting. You observe before you speak. You listen before you judge. This gives you a quiet wisdom that doesn't come from theory, but from experience. You understand the cost of unnecessary conflict, so you often choose peace. Not because you are weak, but because you are aware. Still, Alan Watts warned that balance can become another form of attachment. And this is where the shadow of this owl begins to appear. Those who carry inner balance often carry emotions quietly. You may tell yourself you're fine when something still hurts. You may stay silent to preserve harmony, even when your own needs remain unmet. Over time, balance can turn into restraint, and restraint into quiet exhaustion. In relationships, you offer stability and support. You hold space for others. Yet you may struggle to ask for the same care in return. In work and life, you favor steady progress over dramatic leaps. This makes you reliable, but sometimes unseen. This owl teaches a subtle lesson. Balance does not mean disappearance. True balance includes the courage to speak, to set boundaries, and to allow emotions to exist without immediately smoothing them away. Peace is strongest when it includes honesty. If this description resonated with you, comment this phrase: my calm has a voice. As awareness deepens, notice how this state contrasts with what follows. Where balance seeks harmony, the next inner force pulls us toward depth, toward what lies beneath the surface, waiting to be acknowledged. And if exploring the mind through symbols like this speaks to you, consider subscribing and liking this video. It allows this space to continue creating reflections that go beyond surface-level psychology, because the owl you chose is not here to define you. It is here to guide you toward understanding who you're becoming. As awareness moves deeper, we step away from balance and into something more intense. Where harmony keeps things steady, depth pulls us inward. This is where many people hesitate. But if the second owl drew your attention, hesitation is not unfamiliar to you. It is something you have already faced. This owl does not offer comfort at first glance. Its darker feathers, its penetrating gaze, its silent stillness often cause people to look away. Yet you didn't. Something about it felt familiar. And that familiarity comes from a place most people avoid, the shadow. Alan Watts spoke often about the illusion of separating light from dark, as if one could exist without the other. Those drawn to this owl tend to understand, intuitively, that depth is not something to escape, but something to meet. You notice what goes unspoken. You sense emotional undercurrents beneath conversations, beneath smiles, beneath silence. While others focus on appearances, your attention drifts toward what lies underneath. This sensitivity often forms early. Many who choose this owl have encountered emotional complexity sooner than most. Loss, betrayal, confusion, or inner conflict may have forced you to grow inward rather than outward. You learn to sit with uncomfortable questions. You learn to feel deeply, even when it hurt. Your strength lies in transformation. When something painful enters your life, you don't simply run from it. You examine it. You question it. You search for meaning within it. This gives you psychological depth and emotional insight that others sense, even if they don't fully understand you. But this owl carries a warning as well. Living close to the shadow can lead to isolation. You may feel misunderstood, emotionally distant, or reluctant to open up. Awareness can turn into overthinking. Depth can turn into heaviness. Sometimes, intensity replaces softness. Alan Watts reminded us that the shadow is not meant to be lived in, only understood. Integration, not immersion, is the key. If this owl resonated with you, comment this phrase: I face what others avoid. Your growth does not come from escaping darkness, but from allowing light to coexist with it. Vulnerability does not weaken insight, it completes it. As the inner journey continues, notice how this depth contrasts with what follows. Where this owl turns inward, the next one moves outward. Where introspection dominates, the next force pushes toward action. If the third owl caught your attention, there is a strong current of movement within you. This owl does not remain still for long. Its posture is alert, grounded, forward-facing. It represents the part of the psyche that is no longer satisfied with observation alone. You feel an inner pressure to act, to choose, to move, to shape your life with intention. People drawn to this owl often carry a deep need for purpose. You are not comfortable drifting aimlessly. Even uncertainty feels better than stagnation. You would rather move in the wrong direction than remain frozen. This gives you courage. Not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. You often step forward when others pause. You take responsibility. You initiate change. You push beyond comfort. And yet beneath this drive, there is often restlessness. Stillness can feel uncomfortable, as if stopping means losing momentum or identity. Purpose, for you, is personal. It touches your work, your relationships, your sense of worth. When aligned, you feel alive. When disconnected, you feel lost. Alan Watts warned that action without awareness becomes compulsion. Movement without alignment leads to exhaustion. This owl teaches you that not every movement is progress, and not every pause is failure. True purpose emerges when action flows from inner truth rather than external expectation. If this resonates, comment this phrase, "My direction comes from within." As the journey unfolds, the final owl appears, quieter, lighter, less defined. Where the previous owls speak through balance, depth, and action, this one speaks through listening. If the fourth owl drew you in, you are guided by something subtle, something that cannot be fully explained through logic alone. This owl does not demand movement or confrontation. It invites awareness. You are naturally attuned to intuition. Decisions for you often arise from a feeling that precedes thought. You may not always know why something feels right or wrong, but you trust it anyway. Alan Watts described intuition as listening to the universe through yourself. Those drawn to this owl often experience moments of synchronicity, sudden clarity, or deep insight during silence. You may feel drawn to spirituality, symbolism, creativity, or a sense of meaning beyond material success. Yet this sensitivity has its challenges. Practical routines may feel heavy. Social expectations may feel misaligned. You may retreat inward when life becomes overwhelming, not to escape, but to reconnect. Still, too much retreat can create distance from relationships, responsibilities, and the present moment. This owl teaches that spirituality is not separation. True awareness does not pull you away from life. It asks you to bring meaning into it. If this spoke to you, comment this phrase, "I listen beyond logic." As we step back, something important becomes clear. This test is not about labels. You are not only one owl. The owl you chose simply reflects the inner force most active in you right now. Balance, depth, direction, awareness. Each lives within the same psyche, shifting as life unfolds. What matters is not which owl you chose, but whether you are listening to what it is asking of you now. Perhaps you are being called to speak instead of staying silent. Perhaps to face what you have avoided. Perhaps to act. Or to slow down and listen. Psychological growth is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming more whole. If this journey resonated with you, comment this final phrase, "I am becoming more aware." And if exploring the mind through symbols and awareness speaks to you, consider subscribing and liking this video. It supports the creation of reflections that speak not just to the intellect, but to the inner life. Remember, the owl does not force direction. It observes, it waits, it guides through awareness. Your path is not fixed, but it is meaningful.